All right.
All right.
Little bit of a time crunch.
Yep.
Despair.
Billy is playing us. Chuck is setting off the jack bomb. The empty. Well, Chuck wasn't setting it off.
He was just saying,
Yeah.
He's gonna die.
Yeah. Now. So, the aftermath, Billy shows up, basically blames them for screwing it up, which I don't really understand what her logic is there. Like
I know
because they fought, or
yeah, I know Sam was trying to stop Dean, but he failed to do so, and Chuck was like, "Nah, this isn't happening. Screw you guys. I'm going home."
Screw you guys.
Ski
Yeah. So Billy was a very interesting character, but she just kind of went at the end there.
Yeah, all of the intrigue and all of the theories is just like, nah, she's just
someone else who has a grudge.
Vaguely vindictive and vaguely power hungry, and we have to kill you now.
Yeah.
Like,
so
okay, big.
She's like
the death. Okay.
Yeah. So she's like, well, I can't stop because they're like, you're the one who's been preparing him for this. Stop him from exploding, because he was like, take me outside, let me blow up out there. They're like, no, we're not going to let you do that. She shows up and she's like, well, I can't stop it, but there's something I can do. And she sends him to the empty.
Reasonable.
Yeah. Billy demands God's book back from Sam. Sam, you are always going to betray us. Cut to credits. It's directed by Richard Spike Jr. Gabriel.
Oh, awesome. Always love to
Yep.
see a trickster have an impact.
Huh. Billy reads the new ending. She says, interesting. She brings Jack back and says, the boy is mine. The boy is mine. I'd like to circle back to that.
Oh, okay.
So there's a showdown. Dean gets the scythe and cuts Death like a biatch, and she bolts.
Mm-hmm.
In the empty, Jack had exploded, and then
Yeah, the empty in the form of Meg.
second Meg.
Second Meg. I was like, wow, you're not looking so good. And then right before he blew, she had the moment of, shit. And then he blew up. And
then they all like kind of reconfigure. She's freaking out. She's like, you made it loud. It's like, oh, okay.
And then
calm down.
And then Jack disappears.
Sam and Dean have a late night drinking moment. Bourbon for the win. But they're doing something that they, in rewatching the early episodes,
Mm-hmm.
they're much more able to come to the apology.
Yeah. They're a bit more practiced on the communication front.
Mm-hmm.
Or they just don't have time to do all the angsty bullshit.
Yeah. Well, and they're in their late 30s, early 40s now. Whereas before they were
like 20s.
Early 20s.
Well, I mean, we can't go early 20s and early 40s.
I guess the actors. The characters have to be late 30s. The actors might, but whatever. But in Dean's apology, he was talking about how like he just couldn't stop himself from, pulling the gun. He was so focused on, because he had pulled the gun on Sam. Right. He was so focused on just getting to Chuck. He says, I could smell Chuck's blood in the water. And I didn't note that, but in looking at your notes, you say something interesting about God's blood and water.
Yeah, just the, pulling from theology, going way too deep for what they're probably doing. But I just like the line because, when Jesus is pierced, after he's died on the cross, blood and water pour from his side.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different references in the Bible to blood and water.
Yeah. Baptism, sacrifice.
Yeah.
And we have a scene with Charlie and Stevie, but we didn't hear her name until... So, Charlie, Felicia Day's character, who's a lesbian, having breakfast with her new girlfriend, I guess, who we thought was named Alice. You had remembered something about a Wizard of Oz-esque episode.
They went off into another dimension together. Maybe it was a different character, and
Well, it must have been because... So, Stevie just straight up vanishes.
Yeah. While holding a plate of scrambled eggs, which is tragic, because those eggs look tasty.
Yeah. And Charlie calls Sam and Dean, and they don't find anything, like EMF or anything like that. Turns out that she had met Stevie on a hunt that we never saw, so this was somebody we had never seen before, so it wasn't that...
Whoever she ran off with.
Yeah. Conversation between Cass and Jack. My destiny, I was ready to die. Classic supernatural movie. Character destined to die brought back because the writers couldn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, just the whole Cass was dying, or Sam was, wow, I'll get there eventually. Jack was dying, he accepted his death, he was ready to self-sacrifice, and then blip blip, there you exploded, now you're fine. And he's just left going,
what's my purpose now?
What's my purpose? This was my everything, this was my destiny, and now I'm here, and what do I do? Which we've seen happen to a lot of characters in Supernatural.
Yeah. Also, can relate.
Fair.
What's my purpose? That's something else. So it seems like death is purging all the people brought back from other dimensions. Eileen fits Billy's list because she's been resurrected. And she's gone. So there's this great scene where Sam is texting with Eileen. Obviously, he doesn't call her because she's deaf. And low-key love their relationship. Like, it's so... not awkward, but unexpected.
Yeah.
I don't know, I love it. I love that Sam's heart led him to this character who's an actual deaf actress.
Right.
Like, way to represent a minority.
Yeah.
Not in a, skin sort of way, but in a actual physical...
handicap, but yeah, kind of a way. I don't know.
It kind of seems like the nerd and the hot guy, but seems really weird to say because just because you're handicapped doesn't mean you're a nerd.
Right.
I
think it's the way she as a deaf woman speaks gives off that impression.
Yeah.
She's good looking, she's capable, she's really, really cool. Love Eileen.
Yeah. So he's texting with her, and she's like, he tells her, no, just get to your car, we'll be there, and we'll be right there. What's going on? Just get to your car, I'll explain everything. And then the texting dots
the texting dots. The other person is typing, and
then they disappear.
Yeah.
And those dots, though,
can relate.
Eileen, and he gets out of the car, and I love the fact that he didn't shout out Eileen, because that would have been easy.
Sure. Yeah,
but
it's
it probably took a lot for Jared Padalecki to not, like, as an actor, jump out of the car and shout out Eileen, because
that's what you do.
She's deaf. Even if she were there.
But it gave continuity to their relationship that he wouldn't have that reaction.
Which is awesome.
Subtle, but awesome. Also, R.I.P. Eileen.
I guess.
I don't expect to see her again. Unless everybody that got blipped comes back in the last episode. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not RIPing anyone right now.
Okay.
But I'll drink. So she's gone, and Sam is like, Dean is like, Sam, and Sam is like, nope, I can't do that because I need to be focused. And again, just such great character development, such a great moment. So Dean is like, I'm going to go kill Death. We don't have a choice, Sam. The old Dean classic. But he did have a choice. He was so pissed off about Chuck getting away that he just, had to go after Death.
Yeah.
That's I know
Dean.
I know how to do it, and that's what I'm going to do.
Dean is Mr. Proactive. We have to do something. Do we? Can we think for a sec? Okay. Yeah, go act.
So we come back from the commercial break, and Minnesota chick, Donna! D-Train! Sam has Jack drive so he'd have something to do. Aww.
It's kind of nice.
Dean has Billy's blade, intends to do anything to bring Billy out, burn her books. Charlie geared up, ready to help. Noise. All the hunters are holed up in a warding bunker.
Yeah, so they gathered everybody, basically all the hunters they've ever worked with.
That came from another dimension, or...
Right, because that was what they understood was happening. Everybody that had been resurrected to come from another dimension would be on Death's list because they don't belong in this world.
Yeah.
And so they gathered all of them together in a bunker with all kinds of warding to ward off Death.
And Billy, I did what you did. Bobby is there. He's like...
Bobby!
Lamenting about the Porta-John situation.
Yes, I brought a bucket.
I brought a bucket.
Very on character. It was nice.
I kind of wanted him to say idjit.
I was waiting for the idjit. We didn't get an idjit. But, it was just nice for him to stay on character. Last few episodes of a series, everybody starts to act a little different and be like, it's good to see you, and let's hug now, and it's nice to see them stay on character in a situation like that.
Yeah.
Bobby being very practical. Where do we go to the bathroom? And he's gone.
So Jack and Donna are painting on wards, and Jack notices a plant growing up, and Donna's like, I don't know much about the hoodoo stuff, but we should probably make sure that can't happen. And she walks away, and Jack makes the plant die.
Yeah.
And he was very surprised by that.
Yeah, he reaches for it, and it wilts and dies.
And he's like... Dean and Cass go into the library. W's.
Into the W's.
Found Billy real quickly.
Yeah, that was
like,
easy.
Is this the part where I say hello, boys? Sees him.
Hello, boys.
And I'm like...
Okay, well done. I like it. I don't really care for you, Billy, but nice.
And then you say Dean doesn't actually want to kill her.
Yeah, he puts the blade to her throat and says, "Bring my friends back." His purpose, I mean, he was ready to kill her, but his purpose was ultimately to bring his friends back. It wasn't all revenge.
Fair. But then she says, I didn't kill your friends.
And everybody's like, "Oh, wait, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, no, it's, I'm not doing it. Chuck's your man,
Yeah.
but you pissed me off, so now I want nothing more than to kill you.
Or to watch you die.
Watch you die."
In the bunker, first victim, little girl,
Dana.
just...
Oh, no, not Dana.
Lily.
Yeah.
Disappears. Dana, where's your sister? Really, dude? Like, you just...
Like, this little girl disappears, vanishes on her bed, and this guy comes out of nowhere. And her sister was right next to her, I guess. This guy comes out of nowhere and goes, "Dana, where's your sister?" Like, fuck if I know! Dude, what the hell? Thanks, nice. Blame me in my last moments on this world. Thanks, appreciate that.
So then everyone in the bunker starts disappearing. Charlie goes, Bobby goes, everyone, and then it's Sam, Donna, and Jack. And then Donna goes. Donna, no!
And that's when they realized that it's not limited to people from another dimension or people that have been resurrected.
Yeah. Chuck is the one dropping people. Also, Billy is dying and wants Dean dead.
Yes, the cut that Dean delivered on Billy's shoulder is fatal because apparently strike her with her own weapon and that's it for her.
Yeah.
Kinda
But
checks
she
out.
is putting up a fight. She is still super powerful, like her Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah, she's throwing them around like rag dolls, even though her arm is super gross looking.
So then we go back to the bunker. Everyone in the bunker vanished except Jack and Sam. Is Jack causing it with his plant melting power? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I
either.
think that's an indication that Jack's power will be able to
Undo it.
I don't think he lost his powers. I think that he still has the... I think that in his former form, his explosion would have decimated them. But he came back, and now his power is to... I don't know exactly, but I think he is still going to be the one to
I do
end
too.
them.
That's interesting. I mean, he was reaching for the plant. He was presumably going to pluck it, right? I.e. kill it. And he had that intention of killing it and just reaching his hand towards it did it. That could be what that was. It's not that he just inadvertently kills anyone around him. Okay.
And I just had a prediction, but I'll get there.
Okay.
So Billy and Dean and Cass are having this whole thing, and Billy says to Dean, "You are human disorder incarnate," which is a reference to Billy's hate of Dean's death-defying ways. Billy has a Freddy Krueger-like knife scrape on the wall. That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Dean's despair, roll credits.
His whole... I ruined everything, Cass.
When Cass experiences true happiness, it summons the darkness. What is his true happiness? What is his true happiness? What the fuck is happening? So, I had some concerns, and it all goes back to the, what was it, the 100th episode or the 200th episode where they had the musical.
Okay.
And the girl playing Cass and the girl playing Dean were like kissing in the background, and Dean was like, "What?" And the director was like, "Subtext."
Right.
So I was on edge. It was a very excellent scene.
Yeah.
And I was on edge for more than this, but I was on edge because I was a little concerned that there was going to be like some Cass and Dean kissing action going on. But it didn't go in that direction. Love it. It was a beautiful scene.
Cass realized his love for humanity in an oddly godlike way.
Well, and so back up a little bit. Hang on.
Assessment will be back after these messages.
So we now have confirmation that that Cass never told Sam and Dean that he had made that deal with DMT.
Right, yes.
And Cass tells Dean about the deal. Only when I experience true happiness, DMT is going to come back for me.
And I had forgotten that caveat. That it was about him experiencing true happiness in a very angel-like way.
And
from Buffy. But
right.
also he's an angel, so.
Right. Okay, yeah. So he realizes, no, there's a way we can stop Billy. I have to experience true happiness. And he does this absolutely phenomenal monologue that you can't do justice to. And he embraces Dean's love for humanity.
Yeah.
Dean's love for his brother, and the fact that Cass had hung around for so long, I think at some point you kind of assumed that he had felt that, but apparently he never really did.
Or
he did what Lucifer could not.
Embrace humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace creation, essentially. Yeah.
He always acted in a way that, well, this is right and this is wrong. Like, he never really felt it. And this was him finally embracing humanity.
And it's interesting that it was a choice he had to make. It was a willful action. Something he knew he had, but hadn't allowed himself to feel.
Well, and isn't that what the angels had to... The angels and the demons. That's how we got angels and demons, right?
Because
they had to make that choice.
Right.
So all this time, Cass is an angel, but was he really?
Interesting.
I mean, he was, but he never made a choice.
Right.
I just want to do whatever is right, which is good.
Yeah.
But you have to actually feel it. You have to feel that charity. So when I was worried that it was going to be like a gay love sort of thing, it ended up being Cass embracing love for humanity. So when he said to Dean, "I love you," there was no
subtext.
No, that was not just Dean, but
man.
which
Made
is
him,
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So he had his moment of happiness, which summoned the empty, which came and took Cass
And Billy.
and Billy. Oh.
And he wrote, R.I.P. Cass.
I think that is truly it.
I don't know.
Fair.
I don't know.
3 episodes left?
2 or 3.
Okay.
But, as I was just saying, what is the empty? I mean, there's Lucifer, but the empty is an extension of Lucifer, right?
Never got clarity on that.
At least not in this lore. But when you think about it from a theological perspective,
Could be. Could also be purgatory.
and then they went to purgatory.
Oh, is that the world where everything is really, really bad?
Mm-hmm.
That's where Dean went with his vampire buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's where he met his vampire buddy.
Right.
Anyway, so now there's no death. What does that mean? Well, looks like a bunch of the populace got Thanos snapped.
Yeah.
And we're left with Dean crying and ignoring Sam's call.
Yeah.
So, I've got a couple of theories. Dean wielded Death's scythe and killed Death.
Yes.
It's really windy out here.
Sure, it was the wind.
I almost wonder if the series is going to end with Dean becoming Death. For how many times he defied death. At one point I thought maybe it'd be a shared thing between Sam and Dean because they both died a couple times.
But Sam has been so much more worldly than Dean throughout the entire series. They almost feel like maybe Sam lives and Dean... I really like that. Dean becomes Death.
That he doesn't die. He becomes Death.
Because he has defied death so many times.
And he killed Death a couple times.
Which there's a lot of fantasy series that references if you kill death, you become death.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember the name of the book series right now, but Piers Anthony on a Pale Horse.
Mm.
You kill death, you become death. That is interesting, and I like it a lot. Huh.
And then Cass. I mean, you could take it a couple different directions, but he sacrificed himself for humanity. He was an angel. He sacrificed himself for humanity. Now, it's not a perfect Jesus parallel because Jesus was never an angel.
Right.
But there might be something there.
Sure. Okay.
Cass finally embraced humanity and sacrificed himself for humanity. They defeat Shock. What if Cass becomes God?
He was the ruler of heaven for a while. Didn't do a great job, but
But that was before.
that was before. could almost be a Old Testament cast to New Testament cast kind of an allegory.
I mean, as a Catholic, I don't love it insofar as,
Right.
it's messing with my theology.
Right.
But from a
storytelling perspective.
Yeah, that's a really good allegory. So I don't think we've seen the last of Cass.
Okay.
I don't think we've seen the last of Charlie and Bobby and Eileen.
Okay. It's a little upsetting they didn't bring back the actress.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Interesting as well. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Good?
I'm good.
All right. David.